A $300 3D printer in 2026 can outperform a $2,000 machine from 5 years ago. That is not an exaggeration. Auto bed leveling that actually works. Print speeds that were physically impossible on budget hardware just 2 years ago. 4-color printing on machines that cost less than a graphics card. And setups that go from unboxing to first print in under 20 minutes without any technical knowledge. The budget 3D printer market has had a genuine revolution, and if you have been sitting on the fence wondering whether it is worth getting into, the answer right now is yes, and the timing has never been better. But the market is also more confusing than ever, with dozens of models all making the same claims and wildly different real-world performance. I went through the independent testing data, the hands-on reviews, and the head-to-head comparisons from the most credible sources in 3D printing. These are the 5 budget printers worth your money right now, counted down from 5 to 1. Number 5. Elegoo Centauri Carbon, the fastest budget 3D printer ever made. Starting at number 5, the Elegoo Centauri Carbon, and this is on the list for one specific reason that makes it unlike every other budget printer available. It is the fastest budget 3D printer ever tested, full stop. It comes in at around $299 and it delivers Core XY architecture, which is a premium motion system design, at a bed slinger price. Tom's Hardware named it their fastest budget 3D printer pick after achieving a perfect PLA 3D Benchy print in 18 minutes and 19 seconds. To put that in context, most budget bed slingers take 45 minutes to an hour on the same test. The Centauri Carbon hits a top speed of 500 mm per second with 20,000 mm per second squared acceleration, numbers that are comparable to the top-of-the-line Bambu Lab printers at a fraction of the cost. It uses an Elegoo fork of Klipper firmware to reduce vibrations and optimize pressure advance, which keeps print quality consistent even at high speeds. The high-flow hot-end handled PLA, PETG, TPU, ABS, and ASA in testing without any significant issues. The Core XY motion system means the print head moves in X and Y directions while the bed only moves in Z, which is mechanically more stable than bed slinger designs and allows higher speeds without the ringing artifacts that plague cheaper fast printers. At this price with this performance, it is genuinely hard to believe what you are getting. The honest limitations. The top lid must be removed to print cooler filaments like PLA, which is a common design compromise on lower-priced enclosed machines. The lid does a decent job retaining heat for ABS and ASA but was not quite enough for more demanding materials like PC blend in testing. The multicolor system was still under development and optimization at launch. And the fit and finish is not as polished as machines at twice the price. But for raw speed at an unprecedented price, nothing in the budget category touches the Elegoo Centauri Carbon right now. Number 4. Creality Ender 3V3 SE, the best beginner 3D printer for absolute newcomers. At number 4, the Creality Ender 3V3 SE, and this machine earns its spot through a combination of reliability, ease of setup, and price that makes it the single most recommended entry-level 3D printer for someone who has never used one before. It comes in at around $170 to $230 depending on where you buy it, and it received 4.5-star reviews from both TechRadar and Tom's Hardware, which is a strong consensus from 2 of the most credible hardware review publications available. The setup experience is the defining characteristic of the V3 SE, and this is what differentiates it from earlier Ender models that had a difficult reputation. The printer arrives mostly assembled. The entire process of unboxing, assembling the remaining components, and getting to your first print takes approximately 15 to 20 minutes. There is no manual bed leveling. CR Touch automatic bed leveling handles Z-height calibration automatically before every print, which eliminates the most frustrating and confusing part of budget 3D printing for beginners. Sprite Direct Drive Extruder means the filament motor is mounted directly at the print head rather than remotely on the frame, which gives you better control over filament feeding and allows you to print flexible TPU materials that most Bowden setup budget printers cannot handle reliably. Maximum print speed of 250 mm per second is fast enough for practical everyday use without requiring the kind of tuning that higher speed machines demand. Automatic filament loading guides you through the process on screen, removing another common point of confusion for new users. The LED interface is clean and straightforward to navigate. Build volume is 220 by 220 by 250 mm, which is adequate for the vast majority of everyday prints including practical household items, decorative pieces, and hobby models. Print quality in testing was clean with only minimal stringing on complex geometries. The honest limitations. There is no Wi-Fi support, which means you load files via SD card rather than wirelessly, and no touchscreen, which some buyers find less convenient than the modern touch interfaces on competing machines. Print speed is noticeably slower than the Elegoo Centauri Carbon above it. And the lack of an enclosure means this printer is not suitable for high-temperature engineering filaments. But for a complete newcomer who wants to start 3D printing with minimal frustration, maximum reliability, and a price that makes the purchase decision easy, the Ender 3V3 SE is the most proven recommendation in the category. Number 3. Anycubic Cobra X, the best budget multicolor 3D printer. Number 3 is the Anycubic Cobra X, and this machine does something that was not possible in the budget 3D printing category until very recently. It prints in 4 colors out of the box without any additional hardware purchase, and it does it faster than competing multicolor machines that cost significantly more. It comes in at around $279 for the standalone model, and it received a 4.5-star review from Tom's Hardware, who named it the best budget 3D printer that is also a 4-color machine. The color system is the story here. While most multicolor 3D printers require a separate automatic material system box sitting next to the printer connected by tubes, the Cobra X has a miniature multi-material filament handling system built directly into the tool head with the filament spools held on a rack above the gantry. This design has 2 meaningful advantages. First, the filament does not have to travel far between the spool and the nozzle, which dramatically speeds up color swap times. In head-to-head testing against the Bambu Lab A1, the Cobra X averaged 35 seconds to swap colors from cut to purge. The Bambu Lab A1 took 90 seconds or more for the same operation. On a complex 4-color print with 776 color swaps in testing, the Cobra X was 10 hours faster than the Bambu Lab. Second, there is no additional hardware box to buy, set up, or maintain. The entire multicolor system is self-contained in the printer itself. Build volume is slightly larger than the Bambu Lab A1, print speed is comparable to more expensive machines, and the overall user experience is designed around accessibility for beginners who want to jump directly into color printing without starting with single filament. Print quality at speed is strong, with the ACE Gen 2 multi-material system producing good results on multicolor models in real-world testing. The machine is also expandable to 19 colors by adding the optional ACE 2 Pro unit externally if you eventually want to go beyond 4 colors. The honest limitations. The multicolor system does produce filament waste during color purges, and while Anycubic claims lower waste than competitors, real-world testing found the waste reduction less dramatic than marketing suggested. The open frame design limits the range of filaments it can handle effectively. And at $279 it is priced higher than the Ender 3V3 SE without delivering faster single-color print quality. But for the buyer who wants to start printing in color immediately without extra hardware or extra cost, nothing else at this price comes close to the Cobra X. Number 2. Bambu Lab A1 Mini, the most user-friendly budget 3D printer available. At number 2, the Bambu Lab A1 Mini, and this is the printer that made 3D printing genuinely accessible to people who have no interest in learning the technical side of the hobby. It comes in at around $199 for the standalone single-color version, or $349 for the combo version with the AMS Lite multicolor system, and it received 5 stars and an Editor's Choice badge from TechRadar after hands-on review, which is a strong validation from a publication that tests extensively. The defining quality of the Bambu Lab A1 Mini is not its specification sheet. It is the experience of actually using it. Setup involves 3 steps: the filament wiper, the spool holder, and the Bowden tubes. That is it. You are printing within 30 minutes of opening the box, and that first print will look good. Bambu Lab's proprietary slicing software, Bambu Studio, does the heavy processing that other slicers require manual input for. You select your model, select your filament, hit print, and the machine handles everything else. For a first-time buyer who wants to focus on making things rather than configuring a machine, this workflow is genuinely transformative compared to any other printer in this category. Print speed tops out at 500 mm per second with 10,000 mm per second squared acceleration in ludicrous mode, though in practical use it runs at 200 to 300 mm per second while still being noticeably faster than most competing budget printers. The Bambu ecosystem is one of the most mature in consumer 3D printing, with a large library of compatible filaments, a strong community, and regular firmware updates that add meaningful features over time. The AMS Lite add-on enables 4-color printing with the most polished multi-material workflow in the budget category. Build volume is smaller than competing bed slingers at 180 by 180 by 180 mm, which is a limitation for larger prints. The honest weaknesses. The smaller build volume is a genuine trade-off. The Bamboo ecosystem is partially closed, meaning some third-party filament profiles require extra configuration compared to more open platforms. And at $349 for the combo version, it crosses the threshold some buyers define as budget. The machine is famously quiet compared to most 3D printers, which matters if the printer lives in a bedroom or shared space. But as the printer that has brought more first-time users into 3D printing successfully than any other machine at this price, the A1 Mini earns its spot at number 2 without any hesitation. Number 1. Elegoo Centauri Carbon 2 Combo, the best budget 3D printer in the world right now. And here is the number 1. The Elegoo Centauri Carbon 2 Combo. TechRadar's 3D printing expert described the precision and print quality finish as exceptional after hands-on testing, and the combination of features this machine delivers at its price point is genuinely unprecedented in the budget 3D printing category. It comes in at around $449 for the combo version, and it brings together 3 things that have never previously coexisted in a machine under $500. Core XY speed, multicolor capability, and print quality that rivals machines at twice the price. Let me explain what makes this machine the number 1 recommendation. The Centauri Carbon 2 is built on the Core XY motion system foundation of the original Centauri Carbon, which already delivered the fastest budget prints ever tested. The second generation adds the Canvas multicolor system, which pushes multiple colored filaments through a single nozzle to deliver color printing without the waste and complexity of buffer systems. The result is a machine that is fast, prints in color, and produces results that independent reviewers have compared favorably to the Bambu Lab X1C in print quality at less than half the price. The Klipper firmware base gives technically inclined users the ability to tune and optimize the machine extensively while still operating well out of the box for users who just want to hit print. The high-flow hot end handles the full range of common filaments including PLA, PETG, ABS, ASA, and TPU. The enclosed design does a reasonable job retaining heat for engineering materials, which the open-frame competitors on this list cannot manage at all. Print speed at 500 mm per second with 20,000 mm per second squared acceleration means that functional everyday prints complete significantly faster than on bed slinger alternatives. The build volume is appropriate for the price tier and handles the majority of practical prints without issues. The Canvas multicolor system produces clean color transitions with reasonable waste levels and independent testing. TechRadar specifically noted that for buyers who want to print engineering materials or multicolor on a budget, the Centauri Carbon 2 Combo is a standout in the market right now. The honest limitations. At $449, it is the most expensive machine on this list and pushes the boundary of what most people define as budget. The fit and finish, while improved from the first generation, is still not at the polished level of Bambu Lab machines. And as a newer platform, the community and resource ecosystem is not yet as mature as Creality's or Bambu's. But for the buyer who wants the absolute most performance, speed, and capability available in the budget 3D printing category right now, the Elegoo Centauri Carbon 2 Combo delivers it. Here is the straight answer. If you want the absolute fastest budget printing speeds and you are comfortable with a machine that rewards some tinkering, the Elegoo Centauri Carbon at $299 is the one. 18-minute benchies and 500 mm per second speeds at a bed slinger price are genuinely remarkable. If you are a complete beginner who wants to get from unboxing to first clean print in 20 minutes with zero frustration, the Creality Ender 3V3 SE at around $200 is the most proven entry-level recommendation in the category. If you want to print in 4 colors immediately without buying any additional hardware and you want the fastest color swap times of any budget printer tested, the Anycubic Cobra X at $279 is the one to get. If you want the most polished, user-friendly experience in budget 3D printing with a machine that just works and a mature ecosystem, the Bambu Lab A1 Mini is the answer, especially at $349 for the combo version with multicolor. And if you want the best overall budget 3D printer available right now combining Core XY speed, multicolor capability, and print quality that independent reviewers called exceptional, the Elegoo Centauri Carbon 2 Combo at $449 is the clear number 1. Links to all 5 in the description. Hit like if this helped and subscribe for more buying guides like this one.